there is another very special and very, touching sharing. Our Bishop Peter De, who is a Salesian bishop, one of the former provincials of Vietnam province, now bishop in the north of Vietnam, Diocese of Thái Bình, close to Hanoi. He sent a rather lengthy message in 5 points. He was provincial in the past century, before 2000. So he still keeps the memory of what's in the past. However, to share his messages in 5 points, he's asking to have superior, that means rectors, provincials, formators, and transparent to see clear. He's pointing. For our times, we need a specialization. And the last, Salesian brother-friendly provincial, which in our region we built by and large, not just by words, but by effective means of formation, opportunities, platform, materials, and many other things. So, Bishop Peter De, SDB, who sent with Scotch tape. Because not everything arrived on time, but we are good in that. I believe as announcement it is clear, and we give the space to which is first half of sharing forum interaction, which is
some going around, Father Jobet and Brother, to distribute the handouts. Okay. And then the reports, the summary reports of the different groups will be projected on the screen now, so that you can read while sharing it to the big group. Okay, now because not everybody can listen very well to the English pronunciation. We all speak English, but in different ways. So it's important that things are projected on the screen. Okay. And then for questions, clarifications, you can speak in your own language, and we will find a translator. So language will not be a barrier for you to share. Okay? Okay, very good. So the first 3 groups that will report will be Group 1, Brother Bosco High. Second group is Father Paul. Third group is mine. Okay. And then, so we will follow by number. So be ready so that we don't waste a lot of time waiting. Okay. The summary report is supposed to be only 150 words. Okay, not more than that. Okay, now so we'll start with Brother Bosco High for his report.
Brother Joe said if it's 151 words, it could be rejected. I'm sure that it's less than 100.
Okay,
so
that's
it's
fine.
Okay. So our summary of the discussion is what is basic in our identity as Salesian brothers is to follow Don Bosco closely by practicing what Don Bosco did the Salesian brothers are to be trained well practically so that they are able to serve well the young in his mission and makes their presence helpful to the young. By that way, their good life of every day is already something striking for the young of today who are living in a world of confusing values and morals. The holy daily life of good Salesian brothers is for the young a proof that they do not need to follow some bad but popular practices that people everywhere are doing to be happy and holy in this world. And holiness is reachable here and now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bosco. Okay, now we go to group 2, the group of Sandor. Meron pang ano, diri sa-
So this is the fruit of our discussion yesterday, and that is the summary where the Spirit led us. I hope we were able to strike the real ideas of our members. The summary: the Salesian brothers are consecrated persons with their lay dimension and complementary with the Salesian priests. Both forms of vocation are important. In terms of the mission, the Salesian brothers have many ways by which they are able to reach to the young people. They are very talented with their own specialization, which should not be hampered, especially if it helps the needy and the young people in our mission. They should be, scroll down.
Okay. Thank you to the group Shandor. Please take note that the first 3 groups were discussing the topic of who are we. So as you listen to the reports, you ask yourself, is that the Salesian brother that I am? Or is there something more? Now we go to the third group, the one of Suji, which is my group. Okay. So the Salesian brother is the wonderful creation of Don Bosco in order to bring to reality the Damihi Animas. Today, he is lay, consecrated, and Salesian. The brother has a diverse ministry that comes from his giftedness as a person. He can be a handyman, working in the background, doing secular work. His lay character makes him unique, different, but very much appreciated. The brother has a lot of opportunity to be with the young. He is a cool guy who talks about spiritual things to the young. This is what he shares with the young in order to bring them closer to God. In this manner, he becomes a realistic model for the young to imitate. A model. Thank you, Do. So we proceed to groups 7, 8, and 9. Okay. If you're not able to share, don't worry. We will have another opportunity after this. So, Brother Ed, Mel, and Bryce, please be ready. Ed, Mel, and Bryce. Okay, Ed. So, the topic of group 7, 8, and 9, that's on page 2 of your summary handout, is about ongoing formation. Okay. Good understanding within our community to see the Salesian brother vocation by all confers for what really it is. So, Ed.
This is the summary of our group. There is a great need to foster an enabling environment for converse to have greater understanding and appreciation of our Salesian religion.
Good morning. This is our summary. On the one hand, while in the congregation we are beginning to understand more clearly and appreciate better the Salesian brother vocation, on the other hand, many lay people still do not understand this vocation. In many Asian of God, the community as well as the poor. In promoting better the Salesian brother vocation, both priests and brothers
has to struggle through the storms of clericalism, cultural insensitivity, primitive biases, comparative benefits with priesthood, and the deflated notion of brotherhood. Therefore, it calls upon us that we as Salesians must be deeply rooted in our identity, which should be fraternal and complementary. The pluralistic society of today is still infected and affected by the past notion of the term brother. We need to announce to the world that the understanding of the term Salesian brother is unlike of diocesan concept or of other religious orders. Salesian brother is much more. To make the identity of Salesian brothers more visible, we propose the following lines of actions to the provinces.
In South are liturgies.
in our group, the postponement of clerics, as we have stated here, is postponed until they reach the specific formation. We are not actually specifying in which date or which particular time of the specific formation, but definitely it's after the practical training, whether it is at the beginning of their theology, during their theology, or at the end of their theology. That is still subject for discussion.
Okay. So thank you, Mel, for that clarification. So we have Arokiam from South Asia.
Two small points. The first about is investiture. That is a good point, but it is context specific. In some places, even to aid the practical training, provinces think that the clerics should have a cassock. But the ideal is that they should not have any religious habit till they reach a clerical state, that is, till diaconate. Before that, we are all just religious. We are not, okay. But I want to draw our attention to the so-called clericalism that comes up very often. Of course, we all know that the Holy Father decries clericalism so much, but we should realize that the clericalism is not a problem only of the clerics, that is, of the priests. It is in the DNA of the people in the religious life and the religious settings in the whole church. For example, our bishops feel superior to the priests, and the priests feel superior to the brothers, and the brothers feel superior to the laypersons. And among the laypersons, the men feel superior to the women. We can notice it anywhere in the church, everywhere. So it is not primarily a problem of clerics, that is, those who are ordained ministers, but it is the hierarchical mentality that is deep in each one of us. And therefore, we should all get rid of clericalism. Not whenever we speak of clericalism, we should not think only of priests, because I know of many brothers who would not like to share any power with the lay people in our institutions, because they feel entitled for a superiority just because they happen to be Salesians. Okay, and therefore, unless we root out this clericalism through all of us, somewhere, somehow it will keep on persisting.
Thank you, Father Arokiam. Your presence is enriching for us. Okay. Okay, last one, Jose, now before we move on to the next sharing.
It was mentioned about the presence of the brothers in the formation houses in different stages. What I would like to add is a brother with an active role, because sometimes the provincial will send the old brother. I don't know where to send him. He has already worked his life. Okay, go and rest in the novitiate or in the post-novitiate. So this one, yes, there is a brother. It's okay, but of course he has a lot of richness and experience behind. But I think we have also to have a brother with an active role in the formation.
Thank you. Silvio, are you taking note of the interactions? Okay, thank you. No? You have to make sure that there is a secretariat. Okay. So we go to the next three groups, group 10, 11, and 12. So thank you once more to those who have shared and those who have reacted. So the group of Francis for Sid Antonio, Camilos for Garzon Anastasio, and John Baptiste Tanad for Gracia Pablo. So page 3. Okay, this is the last page. No? Salesian Vocation Kerygma. No? Spreading our Salesian brother vocation as good news. Okay. Promoting a culture, no? A vocation culture. No?
Yes.
Okay, so
good
we
morning.
have Francis for Sid Antonio Group.
Yeah, I'm Anthony. I in the place of Francis.
Okay,
We have a little slogan: engage and then inspire. So, owing to the specific nature of Salesian Brother and their charismatic approach of work, it is not enough just to talk about the Salesian Brother vocation. There is a great need to increase the visibility of the Salesian Brother. A little bit concrete suggestions. First, to create an environment and apostolate in which the Salesian Brother can express their vocation. They can get contact with the young people, direct contact with them, and give credits and recognitions to the work of Salesian Brother as a brother. And then to promote the Salesian Brother vocation through the media and books. And one of us shared, it is important that when we love our vocation and care for the young with love, they would follow us. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you to Sid Antonio Group. Next group, group of Camilos and Garzon Anastasio.
In a society of strong clericalism, hierarchical structures, and misconception of the sacredness of the brotherhood, a Salesian brother needs to have a very clear identity, that is being proud, happy, joyful, and convinced about his own vocation in order to affect the mentality of the people and not vice versa. The Salesian brother himself is first and foremost the promoter of the Salesian brother vocation, and he should make himself more visible by asserting himself as an enthusiastic educator and pastor among the youth, among the young, whenever opportunity comes. Though a Salesian brother does not have a special decorum or uniform, he should always wear the Salesian cross so as to make himself more visible and recognized as a religious. And a Salesian brother should be one of the members of the vocation promotion team or in the formation team of the province, and should have interaction with the young, especially with the novices and the pre-novices. Thank you.
Thank you to Camilos and the Garzon Anastasio Group. Okay. Last group, for Gracia Pablo Group, facilitated by
Good morning. It is our summary. The group sharing is focused on knowledge, no love, no choice. These three movements are interrelated. Every choice may have distorted or limited knowledge. At the same time, the motivating force of love influences one's choice. Knowledge may not fully be presented because of clouded perception of a brother image. Much is influenced by culture, tradition, and family understanding of a Salesian brother, particularly the first class and pastiche image of a priest. However, However, in Muslim and Buddhist environment, a brother has this benefit than the image of a priest. Knowledge then has to have a step-by-step strategy to explain to our candidates and their family. The choice is proposed not as a separate vocation. The image of authority influences one's choice. The time of choice has 2 points in formation years. Normally it is made during novitiate. But because of situations when a cleric or brother chips, why not do it after philosophy? It is proposed by a province. Lastly, choice is greatly influenced by love, being emotionally inspired by models of religious life in the lives of Mother Teresa. Her joyful and happy disposition is truly inspiring. Our love for our vocation may be seen in the perseverance of our own converts. Perhaps their dedication and love that made them spend unlimited hours staying with the boys. They see their vocation as a gift from God for the young, for their better future. Realizing the interrelatedness of knowledge, love, and choice, the Salesians feel more available and visible for spreading of Salesian brother vocation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tanad and the Gracia Pablo Group. Okay. Now we open the floor for reactions, clarification, questions about vocation, culture, vocation promotion, visibility. Okay, so we proceed to the last 4 groups. Okay. This is, the topic is about Salesian vocation catechesis, a good initiation to the Salesian consecrated vocation in its 2 forms, for aspirants, pre-novices, and novices. No? So we'll call 4 groups, no, to share. Okay. The group of Marshall, and then Michele, followed by Martin Tantay, and lastly, Aaron.
Good morning. So this is the summary of what the group have discussed. Survey among pre-novitiates and novitiates in the congregation in order to have suggestions and get more effective ways. This is important because different places will have different cultural settings and therefore different approaches. The candidates will be in a position to know what they want. The young themselves will also contribute. Sharing of the experiences of Salesian brothers to the formation houses like novitiate, etc. In animation meetings involve also the Salesian brothers to share their experiences. The young need to meet the brothers, the visibility of the Salesian brother. In parishes where we have no Salesian brother presence, organized in such a way that during Mass, probably after Mass, during announcements, give chances to a Salesian brother to read the announcements and also to present his vocation as part of the one Salesian vocation. There should be more time for the candidates to the Salesian brother vocation for discernment. They should be followed up at a very early stage of their formation, that is during the aspirantate, during their college studies. There should be a formator who follows them up so that this formator would know what is the tendency of the candidate. In this way, somehow, we have oriented the candidates. Another factor is the witnessing, the presence of the Salesian Brother information houses. This becomes more difficult in places where the number of Salesian brothers is very limited. There should be equal formation status for both priests and brothers. The brothers should be given the opportunity to a specific formation. In this way, they can hold position and perform well. Involve more people to attend Congress like this, Salesians, lay people, and also young people. The brothers should be available when asked to render services like preaching, retreats, etc. Now the second part, a clear presentation of the formation process of the Salesian brother vocation. In the novitiate, the novice master should stress on the two forms of Salesian vocation. How to present, it depends on the novice master. In the novitiate, the novice master should present also the missionary aspect of the Salesian vocation. Do not identify vocation with priesthood. The novice master and the community should help the novice to discern about his vocation and in the end decide. The novice master should not make a decision for the candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall, and the Ortiz Jaime Group. Please take note that we are present in 23 countries and 12 provinces, so the experiences are different. No? The realities on the ground is also different. No? Okay, so we have Michele and the Ramos Angel Group.
Our group 14 made some proposals, very short but quite practical. The proposal are a Salesian vocation catechesis about Salesian brothers should be extended to families of candidates and lay mission partners, because it came up that some families, especially parents, they do not precisely understand what is a brother, so they would prefer a son to become a priest because they don't know about the vocation. The second is explicitly present Salesian consecrated life to candidates, families, and lay mission partners. Again, is about explaining that the vocation is religious life, is consecration. The third is to provide more visibility to Salesian brothers by, as it has been said already, physical presence in the formation houses and in the structures of authority of the congregation, and giving conferences and talks. And finally, it has been said already before, there should be no external differences until the end of practical training, especially in the post-novitiate. Because we know that the decision to be priest or brother should be taken at the moment of the first profession, but we are talking about external signs. Okay, thank you very much.
So thank you to Michele and the Ramos Angel Group. Okay, so we go to Martin Tantay and the Rudisio Hill Group.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Our group will make four proposals also. The question we limit in the three levels: the aspirant test, pre-novice, and not novices. First, we give priority of having brothers in the formation houses. The second, importance of having capable and prepared brothers in the formation houses. The third, we create a good program for the awareness of the two forms of the one Salesian vocation by talking about it among the candidates, even as early as in the aspirant state. We can propose activities of promoting the Salesian brothers among the candidates and inviting Salesian brothers for an encounter with the candidates. The last, director of the formation houses and the novice master should be sensitive to the two forms of the one Salesian vocation and be fair in presenting them to the candidates and also to guide the candidates in the early sides of their vocational choice among the two forms. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. Okay. Best you before group 16. Okay. So Ves will represent Father Aaron for Bartolome Blanco group. Okay.
So this is our summary. The interviews of the Salesian brothers truly reflected that they were called to be Salesian brothers. Number 2, there are positive effects of the presence of the Salesian brothers in the house of formation. This can make present through their lives, the life stories of the Salesian brothers in the past. The stories continue, but with new faces. Third, the constancy among the Salesian brothers in the past to live their vocation, which became life stories for the present, should be challenged by the Salesian brothers to present their lives as life stories for the present and future generations. Fourth, the analysis of the interviews should motivate the provinces to reflect further on the positive or negative elements contained there, to encourage future initiatives which were learned from there. And the last, the culture of each country and society had been reflected also in the emphasis that appeared in the various nodes.
So, thank you, Ves, and the Bartolome Blanco group. Okay. So we open the floor for questions, clarifications, reactions regarding this portion of the sharing and reflection of the four groups. Okay, so Carlo from Laos, and then Clement. Yeah, you may
Good
begin.
morning. I have two maybe rhetorical questions to ask. It's related to the visibility of the brother. I want to take as a jumping board the sharing of Brother Garcia, who is in Sacro Cuore. No? I tried my best to read articles that were sent by Father Clement, and I was just struck by the very pointed, the very direct points that Brother Jess Garcia wrote in his sharing. One was, it seems that we are complacent in our communities where there are no brothers. My first question is, are the priests or the clerics in the communities really feeling complacent that the absence of the brothers are not felt? It was also asked a while ago, now whether should the priest need a brother or the brother would need a priest? Is it necessary in reality? That's my first question. The second one is in the structure of our congregation. I tried to look at the past general chapters, the composition of the number of brothers and the priests. Lately, the last general chapter 27, there were 220 participants, out of which are only 11 brothers. If you divide that simply, you'll have 0.5% attendance participants who are brothers. Is that a good ratio? Let me ask the provincials or the people of the General Council. Is that a good ratio as presence of the brothers? 0.05%. 0.5%. 5%. 11 out of 220. So
the easiest is to tell the novice, you be a cleric, you be a brother. No, but I do not do that. I can share only the practical experience that we do. The first place, the emphasis is on the Salesian identity from the beginning. But then, as we explain the Salesian identity, in as much as our community is mostly made of clerics, and right now, this year, there's no brother, we allow the novices to join a community at least once a week where there are Salesian brothers, so they can interact with them. And the Salesian brother, and he's present here, Brother Ves, who just made the last sharing, to give uh, lectures regarding the Salesian brother identity. So that's one, so that they are not only exposed, but they also understand the role of the Salesian brother. Secondly, we try to read Don Bosco as it should be read properly, no, in depth, and understand the mission. Towards the mission, much before they make their letter of application for admission, we let them undergo a serious discernment process. When they have already the data regarding what the Salesian vocation is all about, the Salesian brother, and then the clerical form, then they make their own decision based on their experiences in the past, and try to see what the Lord God is telling them. So this is a serious discernment in the Ignatian form, and they are accompanied individually. At the end of which they make a temporary decision to be a Salesian, a cleric Salesian or a lay Salesian. And that is still to be confirmed. Eventually they make their profession still with the openness to become, to be open to the other vocation if God so calls them for that. Basically, we cannot do much in 1 year. And I think much will have to be taken up by the formators in the subsequent formation phases.
Okay. Anacleto, can you share your experience as novice master for Timor-Leste regarding discernment? It's two forms.
Regarding discernment of the decide to be brother or to be priest, is depend on the candidate. I am not decide for them. You are brother or you are priest, but depend on their discernment. I just accompany them to discern about these two forms of Salesian vocation. Actually, this vocation starts from the pre-novitiate. There is a document that from Father Chereda, I still remember 2009. It's already talking about the brother and the priest. And so I accompanied them in the novitiate to tell them about what is the real Salesian vocation, one, at the same time these two forms of the brother and the priest. And at the end, they decide about this vocation. But in Timor-Leste, there is influenced by the culture. Clerical, our parents, as a parents also decided or influenced in their vocation. Because the parents, when they send their sons to the seminary or to the aspirantate, in their mind is always about priesthood. Even some decide already brother. But later on, the parents, when is my son ordained as a priest? That is, in our case, in Timor-Leste. That is why very difficult this vocation really implemented in our case in East Timor. That is what my experience in that place. Thank you.
Thank you, Anacleto. Something in relation to that? Okay, so Barry, followed by Arnold, and then...
just making 2 points. One is, I think we get lost in the language that we're using. So we say on one hand, we talk about the one Salesian vocation, and then we talk about two vocations. I think we need to, and as my provincial told me at the start, we are consecrated under the one vocation, to be a Salesian. That's it. We've said that a number of times already up here. There is only one Salesian vocation. How we carry out our ministry is as a brother or as a priest. Our ministry is to be a brother. Our ministry is to be a priest. So one vocation, two ministries, how you carry it out. The second point I want to make is probably the discernment period is not necessarily just up until our first profession. We're still discerning where we want to be up until our final profession. And I think novice masters and provincials still need to be able to allow decision to change. In my group, we had a situation where they wanted to change from being a priest to be a brother, and there was pretty much, no, you can't do that. If you don't want to be a priest or you don't want to be a brother, you may as well leave. No. Allow them to make the decision to be able to change their decision. What's in their heart, what they believe, where they still want to be as a Salesian. They still want to be a Salesian, but how they want to carry out their ministry. Just throwing that one out there for you.
Okay, thank you, Barry. That's something that will be addressed. Okay, Arnold.
Good morning. It was wonderful that so many proposals had been given regarding that there should be Salesian brother formators in the different stages of formation, no? But actually that is already in the ratio. It's already written down there. I think in the revised 2012, I'm not so sure now. That is already from it had been 2016. But even early, because when we were starting the Shandor, I looked at that. That was already proposed that there should be Salesian brothers in all stages of formation, from the pre-novitiate, novitiate, post-novitiate, no? Of course, practical training is also a stage of formation. Why? Because, again, no, the realization of the importance of seeing this one Salesian vocation in the two ministries. And I think I prefer that word, no? Not two forms, but two ministries. Because sometimes the priest can get confused that he is a minister of the sacraments, but he's also a minister in the workshop, no? And sometimes that guy gets confused, no? So I think I prefer that that term of ministry. But already that has already been mentioned that a brother should already be there in all the stages of formation, and I think maybe we just need to implement that. Plus, I would like to comment also to that thing that I think also the priest should have this kind of congress in which they would realize that there is one Salesian vocation. Now working with the Salesian brothers, no, in the Salesian specific formation of Salesian brothers, I realized that even in the language of the priest, no, when they discuss, okay, we shall be organizing this, no, so the Salesian, the priest later, and then I realized, wait, how about the brothers, no? Even when we go to have a meeting, no, on the table is written there, no, Salesian priest, and the Salesian brother, where will they stay? So even this sensitivity, no, even when we began the discussion about vocation promotion, no? The vocation promotion team had no Salesian brother until I pointed, wait, what about the Salesian brother? So I think it is really, even the priests really lack this sensitivity, no? And I think they will be happy to have a congress also in Vietnam, no? To have anyway, joking aside, but I think that is very important that the priest should have this opportunity to go deeper into the realization of the one Salesian vocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnold. We will close now the open forum. Now, if you have some contribution, please write it down and submit to Silvio. Now, because we have only 10 minutes before the break, so we want to give this floor to Ivo and to John Paul, as well as to Silvio if has something to add. Okay, so Ivo, please stay in front. Stay in front. Because there are certain things that were raised that have already been discussed in different forums, no, and at different levels. No? So you can put it.
I was expecting half hour, 45 minutes in which there would be time to still respond. That was what I understood, but I realize now that this is all the discussion. Thank you very much for the quality and the richness of the discussion. And I have been furiously taking notes. I just want to say one thing, continuing from what Arnold said, because he picked the thoughts from my mind. We really need a Congress for the Salesian priest, or for the priest Salesian, because it is not true. It is not true that the priest Salesian is clear about his vocation and the brother Salesian is not clear. This cannot be taken for granted. Yesterday in our small group sharing, one of the confreres shared an experience. A week before he came to Vietnam, a priest confrere told him, "So there you go again. Are you going to discuss again the identity of the Salesian brother?" And 2 days later, another priest said the same thing. And this is part of our reality. What I want to say is, it is not true that we priest Salesians are clear about our identity. In the last 4 years in the formation department, we have spent time trying to understand the identity of the brother Salesian. And then Father Cherera told us, don't to say something about the priest Salesian. So we said, okay, let us try to say something about the priest Salesian. Do you know, we are still struggling to get clear our ideas about the priest Salesian. It is good for us in this Congress to know that in the church, there is not enough reflection on the religious priest. 2 years back, the Vatican released a document called The Gift of the Priestly Vocation. It is the new revised ratio for priests, not our Salesian ratio, the ratio for priests. The gift of the priestly vocation. There is nothing in that excellent document. It's very well written. I like it very much. But there is nothing about the religious priesthood. A few months ago, we happened to be at a meeting at which the sort of author of this document was there, a wonderful bishop from Mexico, Patron Wong, his name is. And we asked him quietly, why is there nothing about the religious priesthood? He said, no, we didn't have much to say about that. Maybe the Congregation for Consecrated Life will say something about it, but they are not yet also ready to say anything about it. Dear confreres, the fact is there is not enough reflection on the religious priesthood, which means there is not yet enough reflection on what it means to be a Salesian who is a priest. But one thing is clear for me. I share my personal experience. Whenever I read the chapter documents, I was reading, let us promote the two forms of the Salesian vocation. But the chapter documents are saying, let us promote the one Salesian consecrated vocation in its two forms. So I thank Barry for his intervention. I am hesitant to say ministries. There's still two forms of the one vocation. But whatever that be. I personally, for myself, I keep asking myself, what does it mean for me to be a consecrated Salesian? I need to clarify that for myself. Unless it becomes something living for me, I will not live it out. It's not enough for me to focus on the functions of the priest. This is the temptation for most of us who are priest Salesians. We are happy with the ministry or the functions, the roles of the priest. This is not yet enough. We need to live the priesthood, and we Salesians, we need to live the religious Salesian priesthood. What does that mean? I really think, okay, let me go on to the other point. The Rector Major has insisted in his letter convoking the next general chapter on the fact that we share our mission with the laity. You know that this is one of his very strong points. Sharing of the spirit and mission, Salesian spirit and mission with the laity. We are not in the mission alone. The Salesian mission is not the private property of SDBs, whether they are brothers or priests. So my small provocation here is, or rather the Rector Major is telling us, insist from the early years of formation, insist on formation to working with and sometimes under lay people. Or, in other words, joint formation of Salesians and laity has to be a reality from the early years. So, we have been talking here about joint formation of Salesian brothers and Salesian priests. Can we think well about this? How to form ourselves together? Because it is not enough that the brothers become clear about their identity. We need really all Salesians to get clear, because the root is the neglect of the consecrated aspect of our vocation. Too long we have been focusing on our work because we are very practical people. We are meant to be practical. Don Bosco was out there where people were hurting, but he lived from somewhere else, and we are now trying to get there. So this is something that I would like to say as my kind of response to what we've been hearing now. Maybe John Paul has something to say. Thank you.
I want to make it brief because I have now later also 45 minutes now to talk. So, but listen to you all of now in this morning here. A certain moment I questioned me for what we are looking now. And I wanted then to ask the elderly confreres who are here, what moment you have had in your life that you was not so happy with your vocation. And I think we as Salesian brothers, once we have find our place in our congregation, find our place in our communities, a lot of problems are no more there. We are making our life, we are sharing what is our faith, and the problems are coming only up on a certain level. Is my question actually now. I asked me, for example, when I see these people who lived in China, I talked this morning with someone, or other people lived under the communism, other lived on areas, especially the Salesian brothers. The answer often is that they was faithful to their vocation, because they have known there is a community where there is a mission in which I believe too, and I have a future. And this is also what I put then now on the for example, now here on this picture there of Don Bosco now. I think that we Salesian brothers, we have forgotten that we have a certain, I would say, a piece of our identity is that we are prophetic. We are prophetics for the future of the congregation. And this is what I want to invite you to reflect about this. Look to the future, and especially now this discussion we have now here also about the Salesian brother is a question about the future of the congregation. And a lot of answers we have in our own life. We have it, listen to these Salesian brothers who have a certain age. That is what I want to invite now, and then later in my part later, I want then also to invite every one of us to look forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Ivo and to John Paul. I'm sure that with everything that has been shared on the floor, each one of us who were listening, something was happening to us. Okay, so this is something also for us to take note, because on the last day, the invitation is also to ask ourselves, what am I going to do personally? Not only as a province. We all have a personal contribution to make, because we're talking about our lives. Okay. So now we have our break, and then we will come back here at 10:30 for the sharing of Brother John Paul. So, Clement.
So we are blessed with quite cool, fresh, or anyway nice weather, but it's drizzling still. So the big picture cannot be taken outside. However, since time is going on, we invite in order of alphabetic order from Australia to Vietnam, the province group come here and take the picture with Brother Jean-Paul, Father Ivo, Father Maria Rokiam, one by one. Australia, China, and so on. At least we get the province picture taking sure here. The professional photographers are ready. Please, come on.
Okay, so as we call you, you come up, no? The others, no, you can take your snacks already while waiting for your turn. But please be attentive so that we don't wait for you. Okay. So we call for Australia Pacific to come on the stage for the photo op. So thank you very much to everybody who participated in our morning's session. So, Australia Pacific followed by China Province. Australia Pacific, China Province, and then Philippine North. Okay. So, Ivo, Rokiam, please come on the stage. So Australia, followed by China, and then
all the wasted moments, will they ever be restored? Is there meaning in those empty shows? Never will we find that peace, let's not pretend. Is there someone who can lead us to the way?
Okay, so we have the official photographer, and then we will give you a copy of the photo. Okay? Ivo. Okay, so the regional general councilors. Beautiful smile. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, next, China Province, followed by Philippine North. After Philippine North, Japan. China Province, come up on the stage. Japan, get ready, and Philippine North. Okay, after Japan, Indonesia. We're following the... Okay, so China. Okay.
To explore, and the call to service brings lasting joy.
Okay, so Philippine North, get ready, followed by Japan, and then Japan, Indonesia. After Indonesia, Korea. Okay, so balance. Okay. After China, Philippine North. Sure. Philippine North, get ready. You're next. Okay, profile. Side view. Okay. Side view, stomach in, chest out. Okay. Smile. Cheese. Okay. Okay, thank you. Philippine North, Philippine North, Philippine North, Carmelo, Philippine North, Kerwin, Romnick, Dandrew. Okay, Philippine North, John Coral, Philippine North, and then Japan. Okay. Yes, okay. So after Philippine North, Philippine South, and then Japan. Okay. So squeeze. Okay, Shandor also. Shandor community, please come up. Shandor, come. Shandor. Since you are in the Philippine North, come. Hurry up. Come. Shandor. Okay, wait. We're still waiting for some Shandor brothers. Okay, Shandor. Two more. Wait. Two more. Shandor. Come. Okay. Can you visit them? Okay. Miles. Okay. Thank you. So next one, Philippine South and then Japan Province.
Hey, Japan here.
No, wait. Philippine South and then Japan. No, separate. You have to be separate. Not yet. South first, South. Japan. Okay, Japan first. No, because you're very few. Okay, Japan. After Japan, South. Okay, Japan and then South Province.
At the end, can we make as Hungary?
Sure. Okay. So South. Japan first. Japan. Okay. Okay, Japan. Okay, Japan. Okay, ready? And then Philippine South. Now after Japan.